Look who's back. Look who's back to close out the week with some style. How are all my friends doing out there in the universe, no matter where you are circling the globe? Welcome to another daily market video. My name is Doug. I'm with Trade with Doug, and I'm glad to meet you for the first time, second time, 200,000th time. It doesn't matter. I'm just glad that you guys are here because you know what time it is. It's time for the hashtag joyant. It's time for the hashtag jubilant. Dare we say we go one more time down the well and do the hashtag ripper stock, because maybe I've got another one here for you. So anyway, as we've ended this week, I do hope your trading is going well. Let me just get serious for a second. I hope your trading is going well. If you guys are struggling in this market, if you're up one day, down the next, or you just kind of get bounced around, or trading feels like you're trying to perform brain surgery in a blender, then I encourage you to click the link down below in the description box and join us each day for live trading, swing trading, day trading, momentum trading, whatever kind of trader you may be, whatever your goals are. Let Trade with Doug get you to that next destination. So we've had a pretty good week. We've talked about some great stocks, Vuzi. We've talked about Pavem. We mentioned last week was a great time to buy tech stocks like Facebook and many others. So I hope those have worked well for you. I want to feature today the Fubs. That's right, the Fubs, Fubo. Now, I'm starting to have somewhat of a love-hate relationship with this stock, and some of that has to do with its imbalanced nature and schizophrenic behavior that it goes through sometimes. But let's talk about it, because when I was thinking about doing this video earlier, I would say that my elevation level and just like psyched level was way up here. As the day is progressing, I'm starting to get like, okay, wait a minute. Fubs, chill out, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now let me kind of rewind a second, and we'll go back and I'll give you a brief history about where this stock has been and where I've been with this stock and how we've got to this point. Now we went through that big, huge Momo, from, let's say from after the election all the way up until January, February. We were just in super small cap Momo madness. I mean, this was one of those times where just about everything that was under 20 bucks was blowing up. And this stock was no different. You got a nice run up here, and this last breakout was just total euphoria. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Now, the thing that you guys have to understand, I'm going to open this chart up just a little bit more. I've talked about this before. I'm just going to quickly go over here. When you're using chart patterns, it's not just cut and dry. It's just not like every chart pattern works the same. Like I said the other day, charts are like a foreign language. You look at the chart and you try to interpret. It's the way the market speaks to us, the traders. And it's our job to interpret it. That's why we all look at the same charts, yet some traders are really good while others really suck. It's because of the interpretation. Now, when you're looking at a parabolic, like I said yesterday, what is a parabolic? This is an emotional trade. This is a trade where you've got amateurs, you've got chasers, you've got everybody that's abandoning any sort of strategy and discipline whatsoever, and they're just buying on the Momo. Why do you ask this? Because if you know anything about charts and you're just looking at basic support and resistance, your breakout is here. So all of this stuff that has increased after the breakout, that anybody that's buying in here and up here is just flat out chasing. Now the rule of thumb would be, who does chasing? Do professional, long-term, consistent traders chase? No, they don't. That's why they're long-term and successful, because they don't chase. Maybe one time in their career, like moi chased, and you pay the price. It's not a long-term viable strategy. So that's mostly fueled by emotion, and amateurs, all of it's fueled by emotion and amateurs. Therefore, things like that never, ever stick. That's why you get these rapid sell-offs. And it doesn't matter who it is. I'm not hating on anybody or saying this is something wrong with Fubo. You're going to get this stuff in Tesla. You're going to get this stuff in Apple. You're going to get these on small micro time frames, and you're going to get these on larger time frames. Everything is going to get out of control at one point in its life, and it's going to be put back to reality. That's just the market. Supply, demand. The market will always raise prices up until it becomes unattractive, and it will drop prices low enough to become attractive. So that's kind of where we are. Now, a few months later, we're sitting down here, and this stock has had one failed breakout towards high, and now we find ourselves, falling in love, having this romantic love affair with the 200-day moving average, which is right here. Now, it's been unable to do anything whatsoever over the last couple of weeks, so I am going to delete this info here, and we'll open it up even. Let's go back and let's look even closer, because this is what we're trading. So remember, I'll be doing some courses here in the upcoming future, but I'm going to talk about that box theory. It's we're working with one frame at a time. And the box theory is just one way for us to look at things with our eyes and quickly make a judgment. So you have the highest peak of resistance, the nearest, and the lowest piece of support. So this is the box that you're working in. This would also be the next formula right up here, right? And then the next would be this peak right here. Just a simple illustration. Now you can do this with your eye, but for you new traders or everyone else out there that's struggling with trading, when I told you earlier, it's our interpretation of what we're seeing. That's what matters here. So we don't care about any of this right now because it's not important. It may become important, but today, no, it's not important. We've got to get outside of this range. So you're doing a good job. Here's the good things that our Fubo's doing. It's holding the range. Every time it tests down into this 20 area, it's being defended. It's holding that. And you've got multiple days where Fubo has hit the low 20s and it's rallied each time. But it's stuck still down in this box. Now, when you're saying, there's one thing to say, yes, something bounces off of support. The next thing we do is assess, well, what kind of a bounce are we getting off of support? How would you rank this bounce? Now, ranking a bounce will let you know the authoritation behind it. So let's say it's a weak bounce. Then what does that tell you? That just means that, well, it's still reluctant to move outside of this range. Now, if we can get out of here, then maybe we can move up to this level, or maybe we can move up to this level. But let's just deal with where we are. Now, if you look at here's what's bugging me about this today, and why I said earlier, my lack of enthusiasm as the day goes on is starting to damper, and I would like to see this change because I'm very interested in buying this stock because I think the risk to reward is good. But I'm not sure I've got 100% signal now telling me that it's a go. It's kind of doing the flirtatious thing, and I'll show you. You come up here and you had a little piece of resistance and you hit that early. So I want to kind of move now to an intraday chart. I'm using a 5-minute chart, but any intraday chart is going to show you roughly the same thing. Is you got a really strong move here out of the open. Now this is an enthusiastic bounce. So when I'm talking about judging bounces, this is enthusiastic. I mean, look at this. This is straight, stupendous vertical. Now I also mentioned to you earlier when you saw it on the daily chart, that parabolic move, the same applies to micro movements and smaller time frame movements, right? So you know who's buying this up here. Once this thing starts to break out over top of this range, who's in this? This is a chase. This is a chase. This is an emotional, euphoric trade. So at that time, at that patch, okay, now here's what I also want to say. It's all about time too, because it's at that time frame. So on a 5-minute time frame, that just means, well, this morning, people are getting out of control. On the daily, they might not be, but just for this patch of time. Now, the other thing about time is relevant to you, the trader. So whatever frames that you're working on, the principles still apply. The methods still apply. It's just a different time. So on a short time frame, this thing's getting overbought. What you would like to see in this case is that hold up, and it attempts to do this right here. It attempts to try to, let's call it just a customary flag. It tries to consolidate here. And what needed to happen, in my opinion, it either needed to hold into this 24 range right here, or it needed to bounce and continue to rally past my face here up to $26, $27, okay? That would have been better. What you're getting here is this constant dribble all the way down, and it's right back to where the breakout should have been. Now, this can go back to the standard theory of technical analysis, where you say previous resistance becomes future support. This has to hold up throughout the day. Now, when I say this has to hold up, it doesn't have to do anything. But if you're looking for any bullish pride, it needs to hold up. This is not a good sign. So let me go back to say something I was talking about. Judging the bounce. Well, let's judge the fade. It's not holding. Right? It's fading here, and it's fading consistently for several hours after it went on this euphoria trip this morning. You know, like it got high, and now it's hung over. I would like to have seen this stay up. When I'm looking at the daily, this thing has potential. I felt earlier today could be the day that starts a multi-day run that moves us back up to the 40s. Now, it still could be that way. My concern here now would be, I don't like this late day fade. This is a little bit too much to be giving up with the stock. So some of these things, you don't want them to fade that much. You want them maybe to give up, let's say, when I look at these things, you can do it however you want. Maybe yours is better than mine, but I think maybe 1/4. So if you break this into here, here, and here, let's say, in these areas, maybe a quarter of this move, maybe no lower than somewhere here. And that's just eyeballing. I'm not using any supports and resistances there. I'm just thinking, just try to keep a quarter of that move, at least more than a half. Now it's given almost 100% of it back, which is kind of discouraging. So when I'm looking at this, here's the thing. At some point, you will, as with every stock, you will get a move. It will leave the box that it's living in. So it looked like today that Fubo was ready to move up into this 25 range and hold, and really close maybe and start working on the 30s. But right now the fade is back. Now we still have 40 minutes left in the session. So I would say if this stock can close a little bit higher than where it is, put in some sort of rally by the close, then I think this is a good long with a stop right underneath of 20. I mean, at this point, you don't have a whole lot invested into the stock, considering what the upside potential could be. It could be $50 to $60 easily on this thing. It's a super Momo stock, and I would imagine at some point in its existence, it will try to go parabolic again. The thing is, even though your risk is good, the reward is questionable right now. And the reason it's questionable is because of the fade. This is an opportunity, and here's another way to look at this, guys. It's an opportunity when a stock is on the bottom. It's a turd, right? It's just sitting here going down, 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 down. Any asset's just going down, 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 down. Then it finally gets a break, a lucky break, a news bump, whatever, any kind of break. And it takes off like Fubo did this morning. This is the one opportunity for this thing to redeem itself. It's like the market has given it another chance. Like you've done something in your life, somebody gives you a second chance, you blow it. It's like now you're blowing your chance. You're blowing the gift of this morning's rally, and now you're selling off. So as I'm doing that, is the Fubs a buy? I'm going to say right now it's not. It is not a buy just yet. I think in this case it would be better to wait for this thing to actually stick a move above 25. So here's the strategy. If we bounce a little bit later on today, because there's still 40 minutes left, you never can rule out what can happen. Let's take a look at the intraday. I'll give you a little idea. If we can claw our way back up here by the close, and we see some volume gets up, nice little spikes in volume up here, I would be willing to start a position. If you're looking at long, I'd be willing to say, okay, that's enough to give us what we need going into Monday. If that doesn't happen and it just kind of peters out right here to the close, we're going to have to wait. Maybe this comes back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, or whatever, next week, next month. At some point, it will leave this area. And this is one thing that's good about the box theory, okay? As you're inside of the box, as you are now, here's the theory. Nobody knows what the hell's going to happen. If you're in the center, the direction is not clear. It's like being at a fork in the road. You can either go left or you can go right. So it can go up or it can go down. At some point, I think now, if that doesn't happen today, we need to wait for a close above 25. Give us something that shows that this stock is serious and the volume is there and the market is serious about driving it up, because it should be an easy move to 35 here. There's some good reward in this, but it needs to show us some more. On the flip side, if you ultimately lose this after a couple of weeks of sideways trading and you start moving below 20, it's going to be hard. It really is going to be hard to make any kind of bullish case whatsoever for this thing. I mean, it's been given every lifeline imaginable over the last couple of months. I mean, this sell-off has started. Where did we actually start with this thing? I mean, this has been, so your sell-off started in February and you've gotten nothing. I mean, you've had one pop here and then today's pop. I mean, you've gotten two bounces since early February. So If you want to call this a bounce, I guess. You can see it. It's a sloth. Anyway, I was really enthusiastic, guys. I was thinking today was going to be the day this looked really sweet, like a really top tier, awesome setup. Fubes is letting me down. So here's the plan. I'm not interested in shorting this if it goes under 20. I really don't want to mess with shorting stocks at that price. And besides, it's already down. I think there's better shorts out there. I'm interested in buying it, but Fubes is going to have to get over 25, man. If you're buying it in here, we're just pounding our head against the wall. We're just stupidity. We're just frustrating, and then we're going to have to get on Twitters and social media and talk about, I think it's going higher, and we can argue with other people or something to vent our frustrations. That's what social media is for. But if it closes over 25, let's give it a go. 25, 20 stop, 35, 40, maybe even 50 target. Maybe she can juice us up here, get us up here in the sweet spot. Hashtag cash, hashtag super cash, hashtag euros, hashtag dollars, hashtag Skrilla, hashtag dinero, hashtag bucks, whatever, Anyway, let's watch this one. Right now, Fubes, no. Monday, maybe. Tuesday, maybe. Wednesday, maybe. Maybe never. But let's watch that 25. So, guys, I hope you found some entertainment in this as well as some education. As always, if you need help, visit the Part-Time Trader program down there. Join the live trading community. Chat with me. Let me know any stocks you want me to evaluate, talk about, or whatever. I do appreciate your support, and I do appreciate you watching this video. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Trade well. Enjoy your weekend. See you soon.